Who dat to the Who Dat Nation? Welcome to the Who Dat Said podcast here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and boy, don't it feel good. Football is back. Yes, we're not into the regular season. These games don't count, but I don't care. They count to me because we get to see our New Orleans Saints on the football field against another opponent this Sunday, 3 o'clock, as they travel to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. This is the first preseason game of the 2025 season, officially kicking off the Kellen Moore era as the head coach of this team. I must say that I have become excited. I wasn't, but I am now. I'm excited for this new season coming up for the New Orleans Saints. You know, we've been through a lot here in the Who Dat Nation. We've been through a lot in the last few years, you know, not making the playoffs for what, 3-4 seasons now, and we're on our third head coach in the last 5 years. We haven't had a quarterback since Drew Brees retired. I think we're on our sixth, maybe seventh quarterback in the last 5 years. I mean, it has been a dumpster fire over there on Airline. It's not, I don't know, man. I don't know how to describe it. It's just been hard to watch. It's been hard to watch the Saints in this manner. And look, I've been watching the New Orleans Saints as long as I've been watching football, well over 45 years, or right at 45 or whenever. But it's been a long time. I've seen a lot of ups and I've seen even more downs with this franchise. And this is probably the lowest, man. This has been the lowest I feel that the Saints have been as an organization. Now, I know a lot of people will point to the 80s, you know, during the Jim Moore era, or look at the Mike Dicker era and disagree with what I'm saying. But the reason I'll argue that this is the worst because it's not like the Saints had Pro Bowl Hall of Fame players around that time. Yeah, in the 80s you had the Dome Patrol. That's the only thing that really kept the Saints relevant. But aside from that, the Saints didn't have opportunity. They was in a division that they were set up to fail in the NFC West. You know, you're in a division with the 49ers who went to the Super Bowl every year. You know, no, the Saints weren't going to succeed during those times. And then during the Dicker era, we were just bad. It was just bad times back then. Now, with the Saints, with their talent pool that's on the roster, with all of the, how can I put this kindly, with this division being probably the weakest division in the NFL, it should have been a cakewalk for the Saints for the last couple of years. It hasn't been. They've looked the worst in this division. The worst. And the Saints have had the most talent. I mean, show me where I'm wrong at. Yeah, Atlanta maybe, but Atlanta's young. Whereas the New Orleans Saints, they have seasoned veterans. They have players who've been there before, who know how to win. I don't understand what happened here. But it is what it is. That's the past. We're moving on. We're on to the next. We're on to this new regime. We're on with a new quarterback. We still don't know who he is, but it's one of these young quarterbacks that we currently have on the roster. That's the whole purpose of the preseason, to see who will step up and be the starter, not just at quarterback, but in all 22 positions. Now, there are some that are cemented. You know, Alvin Kamara, we know that's the starter. Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed, they're locked in. Now, you know, these guys are locked in, but there are other positions here that we need to find out. Is this the guy that's going to help us move forward, not lead us to a playoff, not lead us to the division, not lead us to a Super Bowl, but take the steps to getting to those goals. And so I'm excited. I am excited because this looks like it's going to be a very competitive battle for the starting quarterback job between Spencer Rattler, Tyler Shuck, and Jay Kaner. Can't leave him out of the equation either. And going by what's happening at training camp for the past couple of weeks, it appears that it's a little tighter than first expected. Now, the leader would be Spencer Rattler. Just going by what I've read and watched, it looks like it's Spencer Rattler with the edge, but he hasn't really gained much distance between him and Tyler Shuck for that number one spot. And to be fair, Jay Kaner has looked pretty good in camp. So it's not like this is a foregone conclusion that it's going to be Spencer Rattler, it's going to be Tyler Shuck, or it's going to be Jay Kaner. The jury's still out. And as they deliberate, we have these 3 preseason games to go through. In this game coming up, our first preseason game, Spencer Rattler will get the start. He's going to be with the ones, and I would imagine probably one series, and he's going to have a seat. Maybe even 2. I don't know. I don't believe he's going to go a whole half, maybe a quarter. We'll see how it goes. It could be a instance of that first drive didn't really click, or didn't go according to plan. Let's give him another shot, give him 2 drives, could end up stretching to the second quarter. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see on that, but I don't see him playing too many, and that goes for all of them. I think Kellen Moore wants to get all 3 quarterbacks on the field this Sunday. So we'll see how that plays out going forward. But we're here. We're here. Saints are coming off a 5-12 season last year, where we bared witness, unfortunately, to a 7-game lose streak in the middle of the season. That was just unbelievable. I can't believe that the Saints collapsed like they did last season, especially judging by those first 2 games of the season where it looked like nobody was going to stop the New Orleans Saints. And all of a sudden, it's like the wheels just fell clean off of that caddy. And it was a painful thing to watch what took place. The coach got fired. The owner and the GM weren't on the same page with that decision. It was just a whole thing that was going on over there. The fact that they managed to win 3 more games later on in the season was a miracle within itself. But regardless, Saints ended up with the 10th pick or the 9th pick in the draft, whatever. And they addressed needs. They got Calvin Banks Jr., the offensive lineman from Texas. Really good pick, smart pick. And I think he's going to pan out in the second round. That's when they picked up Tyler Shuck, quarterback from Louisville. The question marks going into this, which is my big question. And I feel like I got to do this every time I talk about it, but it's the truth. I don't have a problem with Tyler Shuck. I actually hope Tyler Shuck does well. I need him to do well because he's the Saints quarterback. I need him to do well. But my questions are valid because the dude never finished the season as the starting quarterback in college. He got hurt every year. He's injury prone, and he's had 2 major surgeries on his shoulder. Not his throwing shoulder, but his other shoulder, his left shoulder. And I think my concerns are valid. This if it wasn't the shoulder, I think he had an ACL at one point. It's just a lot. It's a lot going into this, and I'm not 100% confident that he's going to be able to stay healthy. I mean, look at Kendre Miller. Kendre Miller was hurt in college, and wouldn't you know, he's hurt every year this year. Knock on wood, he's looking good in camp this year. He looks healthy. He looks like he got his mind on straight, which I'm praying that he do, because I've seen the talent. Kendrick Miller is amazing when he's healthy. So if he can stay healthy, good. But you look at what happened the first couple of years when we drafted him, he was hurt all the time. And so that's my concerns with Shuck. But I hope that we're wrong there, or I'm wrong, that he's going to be an injury-prone quarterback that's going to hurt this team more than he helps it. We'll see. I make no secret that I'm a huge Spencer Rattler fan. I was jumping up and down when the Saints drafted him in the, what was it, 4th round a couple of years ago. I'm like, man, that's the future right there. I watched him in South Carolina. The dude is good, really, really good. Just got to give him a chance. Now, you can't judge him off of last season when he made his starts. He had no offensive line. He had no Chris Olave, no Shadeed. A couple of games there, he didn't have no Alvin Kamara. He was blind. He was out there. They literally just sent him out to the wolves with a big juicy steak wrapped around his neck. So he didn't stand a chance. I can't go off of that. I need to see him in a proper setting with a healthy team around him, number one players, starting players, and let's see from there. Now, if he sucks, okay, we'll move on. But it's only one way to find out, So all I've asked is he get his chance. And now, if Tyler Shuck beats him in camp, best man wins, I'm all for it. I want the best man to win. I don't care if it's the ball boy. I don't care. It could be the water boy. Bobby Boucher could be out there, and he outperforms him. Start him. I don't care. I just need it to be the best man for the job. That's all I'm asking for. And so that's the big question mark going into this camp, and the big question mark going into this game is the starting quarterback position. But for me, and I know that's around the Who Dat Nation, but for me, my biggest question is the defense. That's the one I'm worried about. I believe Kellen Moore will get the offense to where the offense needs to be. He did a good job in Dallas. He made Dak Prescott look relevant in Dallas. He did a decent job for that, I think, 1 year. He was the offensive coordinator over there in Los Angeles with the Chargers. And, hey, what else can we say about the Philadelphia Eagles? Turned them into Super Bowl champions. Yeah, he has Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts as his quarterback there. But, I mean, I watched games. I watched the game that we played them early on in the season where we actually had them beat. And his ability to adjust, he adjusted to what the Saints defense was throwing at him and were able to ultimately come out victorious in that game, unfortunately for us. But I was impressed by the way they adjusted. I was super impressed in the Super Bowl. The way the Kansas City Chiefs took Saquon Barkley completely out of that game. They took him. Saquon Barkley, if you put a blindfold over me and just had me listen to the game, I would have told you that Saquon Barkley didn't play. Because he didn't play. He didn't do anything. The Chiefs took him out. So what did Kellen Moore and Jalen Hurts do? They took the ball and went with it. They found another way to win. And I was impressed by that. And this was during the time when he was rumored to be taking the head coaching job down here in New Orleans. So I was watching it closely at that point. And I was sold at that moment. So I'm confident with the offense. I'm confident that he'll get that right. I mean, the last offensive-minded head coach that we had won us a Super Bowl. And so I'm looking to see – look, I'm not going to put too much pressure on the dude. I'm not saying he's the next Sean Payton, but the potential is there. But when it comes to the defense, I am a fan of Brandon Staley because – once again, he is returning to San Diego as well. Well, not San Diego anymore, but to the Chargers as well. He was the former head coach there for a couple of years. Now he's coming back as the defensive coordinator of the New Orleans Saints. And as a defensive coordinator, he's really good. As a head coach, not so much. He mirrors Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen, awesome defensive coordinator, horrible head coach. Is not everybody's built to lead in that way. Or to put it, to go more in depth, it could be the situation. Sometimes it has to be the right team, right time, right system, or quarterback, or whatever, right owner that's willing to give you the chance. Everything has to click. Same thing with Sean Payton when he came here. Everything had to click. He was brought in. He was basically left alone, told to run this team, build this team, and get us some victories. And he was left alone to his own devices, and he found the way to win. Got the players he wanted. You didn't have a prying GM or a prying owner that was on his back, at least early on. Mickey Loomis, I believe, started really getting involved after the fact or later, and that's what ultimately caused Sean Payton to leave here. But that was the right situation for Sean Payton at that time. With Brandon Staley, that wasn't the right time for him to be the head coach. He probably could be a good head coach, just not at that time for that team when he was with the Chargers, and so on and so forth. So as a defensive coordinator, I have no qualms with him at all. He's a really good defensive coordinator. He's implementing this new, not new, but new to us, this 3-4 defense. And I think that does nothing but benefit this team. We are built. If you look at the personnel for the New Orleans Saints defense, this team is built for a 3-4 defense. I can see Brian Brzee flourish in this defense. I can see Chase Young flourish in this style defense, and we got some nice young linebackers who are even challenging Demario Davis at this point, but we have some really good ones. The one we just drafted, what's his name? Struckman. He's been having a really good camp. Our secondary looks great. Even with the retirement of the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, the secondary still looks strong back there. We look like we got the best secondary in years. And I'm trying not to get overly excited because I haven't seen them actually play on the field, but I've watched some videos of camp and read some reports from camp, and I'm strongly encouraged by what's been said about this group, and I can't wait to see it on the field. So that's the biggest thing I'm excited for going into this week's game against the Chargers. Now, I know we're not going to get, maximum play calling packages. This is preseason week 1. It's going to be vanilla as vanilla can get. It's going to be pretty basic. I don't think we're going to see any blitzes and stunts and all this here. They've been practicing against each other all week, so it's not like there's a need to evaluate any further going up against this team. We've seen it. We've seen it all week. But to actually see live bullets on the screen, man, for this franchise, I am super excited. And so I know we normally do our predictions and whatnot, but it's preseason. We're not going to do predictions. This isn't about wins and losses the next couple of weeks. I could care less if the Saints win or not. I just want to see progression in certain players. I want to see progression in our offensive line, how our offensive line, as pieced together as it is, will it work? Will moving Penning in the guard position work? I was a huge champion of this because I think he's built more for a guard, not a tackle. He struggles with tackle, but I think he's more ferocious. As mean as he is, he needs to be a guard. So moving him to guard, I think, is a plus. I can't wait to see that. The rookie, Calvin Banks Jr., love to see how he pans out. The second year for Taliense Forsky. I think I got his name. I think I got it right. I want to see how he progressed as well. On defense, Chase Young, man. Chase Young, I need him to step it up. But the one person I need to step up even more is Isaac Forsky. And I say step up, just step, because I haven't seen him. What is he on the team? We drafted him pretty high. I think he was second round pick a couple of years ago. And so why isn't he on the field? Why can't he get on the field? Can somebody please explain? Cam Jordan is begging to retire. He can't, because this dude cannot outperform Cam Jordan, and Cam Jordan has visibly lost a step. It's not even worth debating. He is Cam Jordan, as much as I love him, he's a Hall of Famer in my heart, and he has lost a step, man. He has lost actually a couple of steps. And so I need Isaac Forsky to be that man, next man up, man, to take the reins as Cam Jordan rides off into the sunset after this season or whenever he decides. I need to see something from Forsky. Grandison, Carl Grandison, need to see something from him. Ever since he got his extension, his contract, he's disappeared. He looked good when it was contract year. He was a beast that year. Got his money. The same old thing. Let's see about Kool-Aid McKinstry. We got issues. I was raving about our secondary, and I'm still high on my secondary. But let's not forget. Let's not act like it's like we're blind here. This is what we lost in the last few months in our secondary. Traded away Marshawn Lattimore, Paulson Adebo. He lost him to free agency, and the Honey Badger retired. That's three big pieces, and these weren't just position fillers here. These were our top people in the secondary, and so it's gonna be rough. But we are still strong there because we brought in Justin Reed, we brought in or brought back Isaac Yeldon. You brought in Justin Blackman. You drafted Quincy Riley. You brought in some really good players here, and you still got Alante Telly, and like I mentioned before, you still have Kool-Aid McKinstry. So it's very strong back there, and I'm pretty sure I'm leaving some names out, and I can't think of them right now. So you're strong there, but I want to see how these group of men mesh together on the field, because communication is key. And if there's a lack of communication in the secondary, the Saints are in for a very, very long season. But that's what I'm looking for this game. I just want to see, and I know it's going to be a little bumpy. We probably going to get about 10 flags in the first couple of drives here due to the excitement of being back on the field and hitting somebody that's not wearing the same color helmet as you. So I'm expecting a sloppy game. I know we got a new system here and all type of stuff, but that's not going to stop me from evaluating these guys and how we feel moving forward in the Who Dat Nation. Boy, I am so excited, man. I am so happy that football is back. Happy to be talking about my New Orleans Saints. We're about to journey into a new season here. I need this, man. I need this in the worst way, and I know a lot of people in the Who Dat Nation have been jonesing for some football. It was looking bleak for a minute. For a little while, I had put in my mind I'm not watching the New Orleans Saints this season until certain somebody retired in the off season that just made me so much happy. It brought me so much happiness. You have no idea. But it wasn't to that moment that I started paying attention, and then I got excited moving forward. But I am so happy because so much has been going on in New Orleans, not just the world, but we could just put it in New Orleans, man. Man, we didn't had terror attacks, we didn't had snow, blizzards, and escaped convicts, and it's been going crazy in 2025 when it comes to the city of New Orleans. It's I don't know what to say. I don't know. I need something to take my mind off of the madness that is going on around me. But the Saints are here to distract me for at least, or distract all of us for at least 3 hours on a Sunday. I can't wait for this. Don't forget to check back after the game when we recap the game and give some analysis on it. You know, we're not gonna dive in too deep of it. I mean, come on, it's a preseason game, but we're gonna talk a little bit about the game and the results of the game and who stood out and who needs to improve after the Saints defeat the Chargers on Sunday evening or afternoon. I think the kickoff is at 3:05 Sunday. So be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for the Who That Said podcast all season long going forward. It is started. I have officially bitten off more than I can chew. I have tied up my weekends with the start of this for the next 20 weeks, I think 21 weeks. We'll see if I can make it the whole season without my pressure being shot through the roof. But I would love to know, what are you looking forward to this Sunday? What matchups are you looking forward to? The quarterback battle, the running back battle. I didn't even mention the running backs because there is a battle, not for Alvin Kamara's starting spot, but who's going to back up Alvin Kamara? The Saints have a lot of running backs on the roster. We drafted Devin Neal. We have Cam Akers. We have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Kendra Miller is there. So it's a lot of running backs on this roster that probably won't make the team. But we'll see who makes it, because that is a very important position on this squad. Or is it wide receiver, or are you looking in the secondary or the defense as a whole or the offensive line? I would love to know, who are you paying attention to this Sunday live from Los Angeles, California? Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for the show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network. Don't forget about YouTube. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel. Smash this like button if you don't mind. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to the Who That Said podcast. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining me as we previewed week 1 of the NFL preseason. Saints versus the Chargers. Oh, man. Football is back. Don't forget, after the game, I'll be back to discuss it. Until then, I'm going to be screaming, "Who that